Everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundCloud Studios, brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's Zia Missing, available on Amazon paperback and ebook. Coming soon, Missing 2 by Mia Molson Zia, double the suspense, double the fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also brought to you by Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, including 30 exquisite paintings and King David Psalms. Check out the Sweet Psalmist today, Amazon.com, keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner, and brought to you by Sensei Swing, Eric Dunn was the latest, all of me and more. EricDunnMusic.com, follow on YouTube, Spotify, and more. We're here with a terrific lady who's an LA-based yogi healer, spent 30 years teaching tens of thousands of students globally and helping hundreds of clients heal when nothing else worked. And she was born in ashram, raised and practiced Kundalini yoga, and survived major traumas, sexual abuse, and in her near fatal accident, paralyzed and everything else. And also talking about a new movie as a survivor, unveils a portrait of misguided guru and master manipulating spotlight, self-innovator, and frontal ideology, and also a couple of books as well. Live, ladies and gentlemen, plus dudes in beautiful downtown Los Angeles. The amazing LA-based yogi healer, spent 30 years teaching tens of thousands of students globally, and involved with the movie Breath of Fire and a couple of books, memoir, and 3-minute start. Ladies and gentlemen, multi-talented Mahani. Mahani, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, Mahani. So you're an LA-based yogi healer, spent 30 years teaching tens of thousands of students globally, helping hundreds of clients heal when nothing else worked. You're born in ashram, raised and practiced Kundalini yoga, and you survived major traumas like sexual abuse and a near fatal accident, and also paralyzed as well. And you're also involved in a new movie, which basically, as a survivor, unveils a portrait of a misguided guru. It's called HBO's Breath of Fire, about YouTube astrologer Katie Griggs rising to fame. And you also got your book, 3-minute start, and more. And before getting all that, Mahani, tell us how you first got started.
Pardon?
Tell us how you first got started.
How I first got started?
Correct. Way back.
I was born.
Right.
That's how I just got started. I was born into a Kundalini yoga ashram. My parents had an arranged marriage by Yogi Bhajan. They came from different walks of life, somehow found their way from my mom from a poster in Amsterdam, said free food and yoga.
You're making me hungry already.
Yeah.
And of course, tell me more about it as well too. Free food, yoga, and everything else, like with your parents and everything. So
that's how they like started. And there was a yogi dressed in white with a beard and practicing and teaching yoga and a lifestyle to get away from sex, drugs, and rock and roll was kind of like the theme of Healthy, Happy, Holy, 3HO. And he was from India, so he had this custom of arranging marriages. So students or his followers would just line up in a row, and he would just kind of randomly pick 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's your wedding. Go get married.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
my mom knew my dad for 3 days, and that's kind of my origin a little bit.
Oh my goodness. How do they feel about the arranged marriage? Do you think they really hit it off? Did it take time, or was it just a disaster from the get-go?
Well, let's say they, stayed married for a good chunk of years. My father is, he's gay now, or was gay then. I don't know, but he's now they're not together anymore. So they're both still alive. And yeah.
And I think that's really interesting as well too. And of course, you being a healer and everything else, was it one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you do in the rest of your career?
That's a really good question. Precise moment. There was a moment the same day, and I don't think Brad Pitt will mind me mentioning his name. I was being kicked out of my whole healing community because of spiritual abuse and corruption. So one day they basically said that 30 years I had worked up towards the pyramid structure to become like the next guru in that tradition or teacher. they basically kicked me out and said I was no longer welcome, to make a long story short, and saw as a client Brad that same day. And he just gave like a beautiful compliment of my healing abilities, that it was kind of like I'm being kicked out of one universe, but then also like, whoa, there's like somebody who everybody knows pretty much in the planet is kind of in a way recognizing my healing gifts, like when everything I knew was like unrecognizing me.
Hmm.
So that moment was like, I'm gonna be okay. Like despite whatever betrayal from my community, that I still have my gifts and my light and my healing and myself. And so I think that was there's been many, but moments, but
Hmm.
that was one.
And how'd you first get involved with healing and everything? How'd you first get started?
Well, I wanted to be like a businesswoman and accountant. I have a master's in accounting and passed the CPA exams and worked in finance for 10 years with Yogi Tea, with a, organization's business. But one day it was customary for women to massage this guy's feet. It's hard to call yoga.
Oh, good old days. I know what
Good
you
old
mean.
days, the
Yes.
good old days. It's like, how did I start becoming a healer? I was like put at like to like slave massage his feet, and apparently I had like good healing hands, or he liked my hands, and yeah, I think that's kind of how it started. I didn't plan on being a healer.
Well, you certainly did a great job, and I think my feet could use some massaging as well too. But you also
Yeah,
has had survived a number of things like major trauma, sex abuse, and almost a near fatal accident. You're hit by a bus in India, and paralysis, left in wheelchair, chronic illness, and
right.
everything like that. Yes.
Yes. I've had an interesting, not very comfortable journey.
Hmm. Right. Yeah. And of course, you're told never walk again. You managed to heal yourself, and how'd you manage to do that?
I saw hundreds of doctors and healers in a lot of different states and countries and never gave up. The pain specialist in Florida said I would never walk again. I had like RSD, it's like CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome, where the nerves start to like die off in my leg. And I was looking for an electric wheelchair from a regular wheelchair. And there was a moment I recall, the doctor said, "You're like Humpty Dumpty. Like there's everything wrong with you." And basically, I didn't break, and I didn't have like I was hit by a bus, didn't have specific injuries that were checked out through MRI or scans, or like in India, they didn't do those kind of tests.
Mm.
But I was just running on the beach at a business conference, twisted my foot, and it developed into this nervous system disorder that then like left me in a wheelchair. And it was a moment of surrender, another one of those defining moments where the doctor is saying, like, is there anything not wrong with you? Like once they did all the scans, like basically it
Oh
was
my goodness. Whew.
basically everything is just, the straw waiting to break the camel's back was like my body. So he's like, you're probably never going to walk again, but we can do this remote control nerve pump in your leg. Um, and I said, no, thank you, and went to some shaman healers in Mexico and really started doing yoga more, like intensively. And I believe that that's what helped heal the paralysis.
Mhm. And did you ever question yourself after your experience with Kundalini? But first of all, how'd you first come across Kundalini yoga?
Well, I was born into the ashram where my parents were practicing it at 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd get woken up, put under the cold water, before I could walk and go up to the yoga room. And all the adults and children, there's 28 of us in a house in suburban Florida, central Florida near Disney World. And so that's how I was kind of really birthed into Kundalini yoga. Just doing it like you brush your teeth, you just do washing machine. We had different names for them. And it was just part of our routine. It wasn't like in the 70s, there wasn't yoga on every block like there is now. So
Hmm. And did you ever question your path after your experience? It's like, did you have any regrets, or was it all worked out, or were you glad that you were involved with it?
I always wanted to be normal because I was born and raised like we never cut our hair and always wearing like a turban, always feeling like really kind of the odd person out. Whether it was a turban in America, I went to military school with a turban on.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so after that, I just wanted to be normal and go to college. And I did so for a year. I lived back at home, went to Stetson University, was on the crew team, and decided not to wear a turban that year and just wanted to be normal.
Hmm. And how'd you manage to describe your healing philosophy as well, too? It's like you done a nice job on a guy's feet and everything else. Brad Pitt, you did a great job. How do you describe your philosophy?
That's a good, it's allowing a deep silence first within myself. And when I go into like they call it the zone, or in sports, or a deep place of shunya or silence with a lot of meditative practices. And then when I go in relationship with a client, I can sense, some people call it intuitively. I don't really look at it as psychic abilities, but I allow my system from that place of deep silence to perceive how the person's system is happening within myself. And
Okay.
as I observe and deepen my meditative awareness, I can, it's an odd thing to describe, but it's a beautiful process to allow the client to restore to their deep level of silence. So it's really assisting their whole system, their nervous system, their chakras, their breath, to like back to their inner harmony. Like, so it's the harmony that's always there. We just get really stressed and have things that happen and traumas and illness, etc. But the core being like is love and light, and I believe. And yeah, so that's a little you have good questions.
And do you also measure in frequencies or work with frequencies? That's been the big thing when it comes to healing. Going by frequencies. Do you work with that?
I have a gong right here and different musical instruments that I'll use and play. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what's your thoughts on 432? Because that's been mentioned a lot, having the inner peace, ultimate everything,
Hmm.
432 harmony. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like everyone has, you know, something that brings them harmony. For you on a Monday, that frequency you may listen to and feel, oh, I feel good, or I feel better. For somebody else, it may make them feel more stressed. Like like healing is like a journey. It's like I feel like it's like an amusement park, like a discovery, like Chutes and Ladders, the game. You go up, you go down, you go left, you go right. It's not like all of a sudden I'm in harmony and my life is like totally perfect. I have no stress. Like it's how we move through, right? So what brings you harmony on a Monday may not bring you harmony at the 432 hertz on a Tuesday. So it's really about having a toolkit that helps you, that within yourself that you're in harmony, right? And does, when I listen to this, what do I feel? What do you feel? Like I feel like the sound and stuff is very personal in my experience. Like somebody plays the flute, I don't like it, but maybe you like it.
Okay. All right. That was a big topic that's been discussed among Helios, the 432 frequency as well, too. And
Mhm.
also you happen to I was noticing you work with clients, and you also founded the Blue Lotus healing school. And tell us more about that.
Super excited about it. It is a new form of healing school that's not uh, in a place of patriarch or like a pyramid structure where like you have to like climb your way to the top to the
Hmm.
it's really about returning to your own love and light, and having a toolkit of basically things I've learned and unlearned, in 30 years of working with clients and students around the world. So this healing school is all online, and it's really to help people remember who they are and
Okay.
to heal from really anything.
You talk about having a toolkit, personal toolkit and everything.
Mhm.
What do you consider a toolkit?
A toolkit is something like when I'm not in harmony, right? When I'm not like, what can I do? I can go grab, I can drink coffee, I can doodle, I can watch TV, I can, right? I have tea, I have a thermos of cold water, I can do breath work, I can stretch. Like a toolkit is like what to bring yourself back in harmony. Like a carpenter has a toolkit of a hammer and a nail and a screwdriver. He's not going to use the same tool every single time something's wrong.
And I think that's a good point as well, too. And speaking of toolkits, you've got a couple of books that are part of the toolkit called Memoirs and 3 Minute Start. We'll get to that in a minute with Mahani. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Powered by SoundCloud Studios. Visit online at SoundCloudStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SoundCloud Studios is the answer. SoundCloud Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960 or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love you to first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia's garnered great reviews. An evil love and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forrest Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Forco's Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Coming soon, Missing 2, double the suspense, double the fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also brought to you by Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, including 30 exquisite paintings and King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives new perspective of David through the Psalms he wrote in his time as a shepherd where it started, and complicate yet turbulent relationship with King Saul. It's a story of love, betrayal, repentance, hope, and more. Check out the Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner on Amazon. Keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. Also brought to you by Sensei Swing, Eric Diamond's latest release, All of Me, featuring the title track, I've Got a New Heartache, Bring Me Sunshine More. Eric's a multi-award-winning artist, album Entertainer of the Year, and he will release a new CD soon. Check out the amazing Eric Diamond today, ericdiamondmusic.com, and follow on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Also, the Mike Wagner Show, be heard on MikeWagnerShow.com, 40 podcast platforms, 100 countries. Take us with you on any mobile device. Also, follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. Also on YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, Apple, and more. And for t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, Amazon.com. Be sure to check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. Type in the keywords, Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Great books, merchandise, and more. And support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We're here at the amazing Mahani, a LA-based yogi healer. Spent 30 years teaching tens of thousands of students globally here on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we got to talk about the HBO movie Breath of Fire, about a survivor and unveiling portrait of a misguided guru, you've got 2 books we like to include as a toolkit and take with you: memoir and also a 3-minute start. And tell us more about those.
A 3-minute start kind of happened when I was very mad at my daughter over a decade ago and yelling. I was on the toilet, and she's like, "Mom, you're not allowed to yell at me. You're a yoga teacher." And right at that moment, like you talked about defining moments, I was like, she's right. I need to do something that I can balance myself, bring myself back in harmony before I walk out of this bathroom so I can be a kind mom. And I looked at all of my experience and notes and stuff that I'd learned and developed a brand called 3-Minute Start, yoga and meditation for healing, that basically anybody can do anytime, anywhere. There are 3-minute or less techniques, 3 minutes or less, and there's dozens, if not hundreds of different techniques to be in your toolkit for stress, anxiety, depression, to quit smoking, like just to do for anything.
What are some of the techniques that you use? You mentioned about hundreds of techniques, maybe just a few of them. You don't have to run every single one.
Yeah. Well, one, it's on the cover of my book. You put your hands out in front of you, and it's great to do with kids or somebody you're having conflict with. Like you just inhale, or just by yourself. You inhale, hold the breath, and sense any negativity, stress, tension, and blow it out of your mouth. Inhale through your nose, blow out of your mouth. Feel your body, allow your presence. Feel any tension, stress, blow out of your mouth. Inhale. And placing the hands at the heart level just allows you also to connect to the heart. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through your mouth. You can allow a bigger, deep inhale. More complete exhale, exhale, just at your own, what feels good for you. Not too much, not too little, just allowing yourself to feel your body, observe your thoughts.
I'm beginning to feel it already. I think that's one of them. That's very vital. I like that one. That was good.
That wasn't even 30 seconds.
That's okay. I mean,
I
we can
know.
just
That's all
speed
you
through it.
need.
Yes.
That's all we need. Yeah, I just wanted to like share. Like, yeah.
Okay. And how about one of the more popular techniques? And what about the most not commonly used, but also the most important? And what is the one that should be used as a technique that people don't use, but it should be used?
There's something I call it to ease anxiety, but you can do it anywhere. It looks like you're chewing gum, so you can be on in line at Starbucks or on a plane or on a conference call or something. You
Chewing
close your
gum. I
lips.
like that. It's been a
No,
while
no.
for me.
So you don't chew gum, but you close your lips and you roll your tongue around your
Okay.
teeth. Feel your feet on the floor, like really firmly roll it in one circle, and then you're going to change directions. The tongue is like a really strong muscle and it connects to the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system in the spinal column. And you may start to feel sensations in your body, movements, temperature changes, even a slight irritation. It's the nervous system's balancing and like reducing
Hmm.
stress. So that also helps to open the jaw, which we hold tension. Some people say anger in the jaw, like things we don't speak that we need to speak. And you can change directions again and just observe like how does anxiety or stress show up in your body? And as you do this, what happens? Does it lessen, move, shift? And also brings you in a state of awareness of self as well.
I think I'm
So
joining some chewing gum array. I happen to like bubble gum, to be honest with you. So
I like bubblegum too.
there you go. Bubble gum's been my favorite since 1975. Although I do forgive them that 1 year I got a pack of bubble gum for my birthday that I had a loose tooth and somehow I shifted the piece of gum from one mouth to the other and the tooth came with it and I
Oh
put it in
no.
a bag and sent out to companies. Nowadays you could sue, but they're like, we're sorry it happened, but they give me like a case of bubble gum and lifesaver. So I said that was a even better gift than I got. So
Well, that's funny. That's a
oh
great
my
story.
gosh, yeah, and also was it you talked about the memoirs and maybe a
Mhm.
bit about that.
I am, I have a draft of my memoir. I've been working on it for quite a few years. And I'm also working on a screenplay. So I'm super excited to, HBO gave a glimpse of my story, like and opening the door of a perspective. And my memoir slash screenplay is going to tell my story my way.
Okay, so this is in Breath of Fire, correct, or connected to it?
It's not in Breath of Fire or connected to it, no, but it's me creating and writing my story. So
Oh,
I was a subject. I was a subject in a documentary. The HBO is a documentary. So I was a subject being interviewed about my life story in Breath of Fire.
oh,
And it's
got it.
also,
Okay, I was just
yeah,
trying to get those connected. More on
yeah.
Breath of Fire with Mahani. We'll get to that in a minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SoundCloud Studios. brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Me and Wilson's Missing, The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, Amazon.com, keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner, and Eric Dime Music, ericdimemusic.com. Check it out today. We'll be back with the author and also of Breath of Fire, Mahani, after this time out. Rebecca, LA-based yogi healer, spent 30 years teaching tens of thousands of students globally. Mahani here on the Mike Wagner Show. We talked about her upcoming book, memoir, and also 3-Minute Start as well. And the news of the day is pretty much you being involved with HBO's Breath of Fire, which YouTube astrologer Katie Griggs rose to fame as the face of Kundalini Yoga, reinvented herself as Guru Jagat. Did I get that right? Jagat. Is that right?
Jagat, yes.
Jagat. Okay. All right. Attracting followers, including celebrities, fee-paying devotees, promise of prosperity, physical health, and spiritual fulfillment. And tell us more about that. And, how'd you manage to, be part of it as well?
Well, they originally, there's a Vanity Fair article about the topic that inspired the documentary. So originally it was just about the article, going to be the series, and is kind of like the new age cult within the cult of Kundalini Yoga. And as they started interviewing people, they realized there was a much deeper story of people that were born and raised in the organization / cult. And somehow they found me. That was one of those people. And I agreed to be interviewed.
Okay, so yeah, and I think that was a rather interesting one. So you offered to tell your story. What was your experience, and did you feel like any anger, resentment, or was just like maybe held a few things back a little bit or something like that? So, being featured in a documentary, did you just let everything out, or it's just maybe like a few sentences? I think what I'm trying to get at is like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the team was amazing that I was interacting with the whole time. So they helped. The questions I answered all of them to the best of my ability, and was interviewed, I think, 2 whole days or 3. And then they cut, like the directors cut what they want to include. So I didn't really have, that's how documentaries are done. Like the subjects don't have a say in like what they include or not include. I didn't have, there was a lot of thought and preparation. Is like, why do I want to do this? Do I want to like be involved or not? And my intention of telling the truth in my story is also a path of healing and forgiveness, and to bring a space of forgiveness and awareness to the Me Too movement. I've watched a lot of movies and documentaries about whether it's Bill Cosby or Epstein or Bombshell or like, and I feel like there's a place for a new conversation. Not to say that whatever happened is okay, but like I had to forgive like dozens of people that were also involved, like, and my mom who wasn't there. So my intention of like telling my story to begin with was like, how can I help myself heal into speaking up, but also how can I help others who still don't feel like they have a voice or still need healing in their body, because trauma gets stored in the body, especially sexual abuse can be held in so many and show up in so many different ways in your life.
Mm-hmm. Now, this sexual abuse happened within the family. Did it happen within the yoga community? Did
It was within the head
business?
of, it was with the head of everything. So
Got it.
basically,
Okay.
like he was the head of the business. Yogi Bhajan was the Kundalini yoga spiritual master, meeting with the Pope, Bill Clinton. Yeah, he was, if you watch the documentary, it'll kind of give you a perspective of the scope and power that he held over his subjects and my parents and myself.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you made some of those statements you appear in the HBO documentary, did you feel those statements might have like helped your business, bring in future clients, or did you feel like that maybe you regretted something and maybe push away potential clients? Think about your business. It's like if I were to get on a show and I said some things about guests in
Right.
a negative way that could affect my business. Do you think maybe some of the statements you said, would have a positive effect, maybe bringing more clients coming in? Or do you think you might have said something like you shouldn't have
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
maybe
Well,
just kind of
speaking
push
up,
away?
well, I spoke up before the documentary, and that had a huge negative impact on my business because I was kicked
Okay.
out of the whole organization, and my whole scope of earning income disintegrated like pretty much overnight with betrayal and stuff. And, so yeah, it was worth it to not hold a lie in myself and my body. And part of my desire to rebuild is from a healing path and a forgiveness path, and to allow myself to recreate myself and my business in a new, healthy way. Yeah, that's,
Mhm. Of course, you seem to be in a second round of business like that. In the first round of business that did, is that what do you think you've done right? What do you think you could have improved, and what you think you maybe you shouldn't have done it
well, over
or
30
learn from
years,
it?
I never collected an email or got an Instagram follower, like back, like I was just enjoying teaching and healing. So I'd fly to Ecuador and fly to Argentina and fly to Europe and Africa and Asia and just show up at a yoga studio and teach and heal as a guest. Go and teach in Paris to 2,000 people. And it wasn't into like, it wasn't a thing, like collect emails and followers and stuff. So I wasn't about like building myself or a brand. I just really purely loved healing and teaching. And then so I think that in hindsight, had I had the wherewithal to like, oh, let me see this as my business and my security, professional security, but I didn't think like that. So that was, I don't think a mistake. Like I don't like think like that. I'm just like, okay, that was a different time.
Right. Yeah. And I think some people have regrets. Some people like, I wish I'd done this. I wish I'd done
Yeah.
that. I did this correct. Some of us are like that too. And of course, the whole thing about Breath of Fire, back to bit about multi-decade examination of corruption within Kundalini Yoga and misguided guru, massive manipulator, and his intentions were good. But then where do you think it got to a point where everything went wrong for him?
Well, he died before all of this came out. So, um, I think he was doing a lot of wrong for a long time, and a lot of people knew about it. And some people tried to speak up, um, even before I came around, and they were silenced and paid off. Um, there's another book that came out that inspired me to speak up, by Pamela, another former secretary. His personal female staff were called secretaries that, so yeah, you know,
Hmm. Right. And of course, just offering everything, part of the American dream, self-invention. And I guess the question is, what do you want people to learn from the whole experience?
I want people to learn that you can forgive 2% anybody for anything. I started talking about radical forgiveness, and it was kind of a big jump from like, what, sexual abuse for almost 10 years, and now you're going to forgive? No, it took me like decades and so many different journeys and ups and downs and back and forth. And like, so what I'd love people to take away is anyone who's harmed you or you feel wronged by, like we hold that, like it feels tight in our own bodies. And to find something, just not necessarily for the other person who you feel like has wronged you, but for your own self. So
Okay.
that's what I would love people to take away.
Hmm. And of course, lastly, how can we help?
How could you help?
Correct. Yes.
Well, I have a nonprofit foundation. I have a school that offers scholarships for people who can't afford it. I have a free meditation club. You can join free. You can donate to our school. You can, like there's a whole variety. You can sponsor somebody to go through my healing school curriculum. I'm working with an orphanage in Africa, also like supplying supplies and food for um, quite a large 100 student orphanage in Uganda. So yeah, people can come to my website, and if they want to help out, there's always people who need help.
And what's your website?
At mahaniyoga.com.
MahaniYoga.com. We will certainly check that out. We're here with the multi-time Mahani of Breath of Fire. She was in Memoir and 3 Minute. Started here on the Mike Wagner Show. And Mahani, just a few more things. What else can we expect in 2025 and beyond?
I am manifesting an in-person retreat center, so that's exciting. So the people who do the online school curriculum can also gather in person. I really want to get these 3 minute techniques out to people for caregivers. So people who are taking care of people. We've done trainings for, school teachers, people taking care of autistic children, people taking care of Alzheimer's patients. Like if you think of nurses like on their feet for 12-hour shifts, just need a few minutes, like yoga for non-yoga people. So it's really like 3 minutes. Like I really want to like share it like from my heart with as many people as I can. Um, so that's like what to expect. I guess
Oh,
expect nothing and just allow, but I try not to have expectations, but or promises. But yeah, I'm building my Blue Lotus Healing School and hope to have like different languages available and retreats available.
okay. We'll certainly check those out. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Hmm. My friend Sadhari, she's been a close friend for almost my whole life, and she had not a different story, but also went to boarding school in India and has she's really like been like a big sister to me, and she has throughout all of her struggles that I've observed launched like she has a successful t-shirt company with Brad Pitt, and it's a cashmere shirt company and jewelry, and like she's just like inspirational for me to
Okay.
like
Okay. Well, that's really good as well. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
take a breath. You're okay. Find somebody who's hurting more than you. There's
Mm,
always somebody who needs help that's suffering more than you. As much as you're stressed and suffering, just ask somebody, smile at somebody, say hello to somebody you normally wouldn't, and just ask or listen to somebody else. And that can be healing. You don't have to be an official like energy healer, but like so that little moment of spreading like you and joy can change a person's day and life.
I think that's great advice as well. We on everybody smile, right? We're here with the amazing Mahani of being part of Breath of Fire Memoirs and 3 Minute Star, also the founder of the Blue Lotus Healing School and the Mike Wagner Show. Mahani, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely
Thank you.
fantastic. Learned a lot. Looking forward to soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Laugh at you back. And what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase your books? Check out your works, your school, and more.
Thank you so much.
And what's your website again?
Mahaniyoga.com.
We will certainly check that out. Once again, Mahani, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to him soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Laugh, have you back. We wish all best. And Mahani, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you, Mike.